All right. This is Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm your host, Ron Fitch, and we're going to talk about the NBA action and the Golden State Warriors victory. They just uh, won and beat Dallas, so they're up 3-0. Big time win, 109-100. Curry had 31 points, and he had 11 assists and 5 rebounds. He's a good rebounder. And what happened is Dallas came out strong. Luka had 40 and 11. Dallas came out strong. They went to the basket. They were a little better defensively. Luka hit a three. Curry is the only bad moment where he took a bad 3-point shot instead of running the clock down. And then at the end of the first quarter, Donaldson hits a three, and they were off to the races for a little while. And then toward the end of the half, and this really ended the series. Toward the end of the half, Golden State went on a run that brought them all the way back. They went on a 10-zip run, and Curry hit a three to give them a lead that they kept the whole game. He hit a 23-foot three-pointer off of a Looney bounce pass. They do a good job. Looney and Draymond do a good job of getting the ball in the high post and waiting for the cutter or screener to set Thompson or Curry or Poole open, and then it's their job to operate, either shoot the three, drive the basket, keep the ball moving. And that's what the Golden State system is, a beautiful system to watch. And Curry hits the three, gives them a 1-point lead, and they took off from there, and they maintained, and they went for the throat. And they were up by as many as 11 all the way to the fourth quarter. Dallas makes a comeback. Dallas cuts it to 5, makes it interesting. The crowd's in it. All right. Dinwiddie, three-pointer. He had 26. He had a good game to go along with Doncic. But Jordan Poole hits the big three to give him the 8-point lead with 54 seconds left. It's a wrap after that, and Golden State wins. This is the thing about the Golden State Warriors. They have 26 straight series where they won a game on the road. They're road warriors. I thought Dallas had to win in Golden State to make this a series. They blew game 2, and I like what Kenny Smith said. A team that doesn't win a championship, that blows a game, it affects them badly. And that gave Golden State just enough fuel to go for the kill, because this is a championship team, and champions smell blood. I remember all the great Laker teams and the great Bulls teams, and then the great Magic and Kareem in the Western Conference, and the great Bulls teams, and Shaq and Kobe. Whenever they saw a wounded animal, they went for the kill. And that's what they did. That's what Curry was hitting. He had a great game. And I was talking to my best friend. I said, well, Curry, he's not shooting it as well, but he's doing a lot of other things. Maybe he's aging and he wants to be a better driver and do little things that veterans do. But he hit the shots and he was comfortable. He was coming off the screen where he was missing shots in game 1, 2. He was nailing it. And he made Dallas pay for being a little lax off of the screen, where he would catch the high screen where he's in shooting range, and he made them pay. And Jordan Poole played well. And Otto Porter, who had a good series, got hurt. But Kerr has played so many people that the guys come in, the moment is not too much for them. And they come in there and they do their role. And Draymond Green is the heart and soul of that team. He makes it happen. He makes the plays, and Wiggins he's been fantastic. He's been a godsend for Golden State. He had 27 points, and he had a dunk on Luka Doncic. My goodness, and that was just his role as a guy who was going to fit well in any system would be the third or fourth wheel to go along with the Thompsons and Greens. So it's not the pressure of him being the man like he was in Minnesota. So now he could relax and just do other things to play his game. And now you're getting the extra. Now you're getting the points. Now you're getting the shooting. Now his ability to drive. His defense, even though Luka had 40, at least you he's 11 of 23. So you make him work a little bit, but the defense has been fantastic. For Dallas, they don't have any shot blockers. So Golden State has gone to that. They have plus 50 more point paints, 56 more point paints than the Dallas. So they are going to the best. They know Dallas doesn't have a shot blocker. They're not settling. The threes that Golden State's taking are in the flow after penetration. Dallas is taking threes, and Luka, like Charles Barkley said, Luka is holding the ball too much, and the offense got a little slow and stagnant. So Golden State, what they're doing, and I love what Kerr set the tone for this series by going box at 1, 2-3 zone, man to man. He's varied. And I tell you, there was one moment they played a 2-3 zone. And usually Luka likes to back a small opponent. He picks on an opponent on the high screen and kind of backs him in. And he's kind of got him there. And now he can dish it to the 3-point snipers, or he could just overpower and get the line. But because of the zone, he backs his man in, but it's a zone concepts that collapses on him. So now he tries to kick it out. And Golden State's doing such a good job of running, chasing away the 3-point shooter that Dallas is kind of that little hesitancy that's cost them. And now they're not making those shots that they made against Phoenix. And Golden State's up 3-0, and they're going to look to put the Mavericks away. And Mavericks had a good season. They don't make it to the finals. There's something to build. They go get another big to go along with Luka. Hardaway comes back. So the foundation is beautiful. The West is set with Memphis. And, if LaVine goes to LA could have a resurgence. The Lakers, Minnesota. Now let's get to Phoenix before I finish this segment. They blew it. And Phoenix did not. They were mocking Luka, and their focus was not championships. They felt like it was their destiny, and they were already set to be in the finals. And you can't be that way, especially if you don't have any championships. You don't have anybody that has any championship experience other than JaVale McGee on your team. And Golden State took Dallas serious from the jump. And they saw what I thought the beating that Dallas gave Phoenix was a blessing and a curse. It was a blessing that they got that next round, but it was a curse that Golden State was going to come in there and take Dallas real serious. And Kerr and his crew said, man, if we don't chase these 3-point shooters out of their comfort zone, we're going to get beat. And he has. And you see the difference between Golden State and Phoenix. This one team that's desperate to get to the finals and win it because they cherished this window of opportunity, and another one that didn't take the window of opportunity serious and now is probably closed, and there'll be no rings headed toward Phoenix, and Golden State has an opportunity to win another championship. I believe they will because they're taking advantage of their opportunities. Like a team like Boston, everybody said is going to win a championship. They did not. And I'll get into that. That's going to be my next segment. They did not take advantage so far. They can get to the finals, but if Golden State's healthy, they just, because of how desperate and hungry they're playing, I believe they're going to find a way to get home and get this championship done. Okay, what happened in Game 3 of Boston and Miami? I was very wrong. Very, very, very wrong. I felt like Boston was going to win the 2 in Boston, lose Game 5, and then dust them off in Game 6. It wasn't that easy. Miami showed me something. In winning this game 109-103, this is what Miami did. The 39-18 first quarter, where Bam Adebayo, who was criticized, who is a hard playing dude, just played even harder, who had 31 points. They got to a big lead, and this was surprised. Boston at home, knowing that you don't have the home court advantage. It was down 46-20. And then for the rest of the game, they're going to claw back because they're too good to be down 26 points. So of course they're going to claw back. But Miami held them off. They made the plays. Bam, doing what he had to do. PJ Tucker playing good, hitting that corner 3-point shot. He plays to his role. He knows his lane. I'm not going to take shots I can't take. I'm going to take play the heck out of the defense, play great defense, and I'm going to hit that corner three. I'm going to stay in the corner, hit the corner three. And the turnovers, Boston, when they lose their turnover. And then Jason Tatum has disappearing acts. 3 of 14, 1 of 7. I mean, he'll come back in game 4 and put up 42 points, but that would be concerning if you're trying to get to a title and win it. This is a game if he plays well, they come back all the way down from 26 and win because they're that good. But that hurt. But the turnovers were just 23 turnovers. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. But they don't have that pure classic point guard because Marcus Smart is he's all defense. He's defensive player of the year. He's going to give you toughness, but at times he has a tendency to play hero ball because he plays like he's the star sometimes, and he'll take shots he shouldn't. Now, he was 1 of 4 from 3, but they didn't get into their office. They don't have that classic pure point guard. And then Grant Williams had 10. He was solid, but without the other Williams at center, that hurt. That the health is big because Otto Porter's hurt right now. Guys aren't healthy. Jimmy Butler is going to come back for game 4, but he had knee inflammation. And Dallas, and this was a game Boston could have came back and won with Butler on the bench, but they did not take care of business. Horford had 20, and Brown had 40, and you didn't win the game. That's just rough, man. That's a rough loss. I mean, Boston's gonna come back and win game 4, but this was an opportunity. Butler hurt, but 31 points from Abayo, 10 rebounds. He gave it to you. And then 16 from Strauss. But I think a big difference was Kyle Lowry coming back. I didn't know he was coming back. When he came back and was introduced, I said, okay, Miami could make this a good game. Boston will win. But it was more than that. Kyle Lowry was plus 10. And he was big, really big. And then Martin gave you 8 points off the bench. Tyler Hero only gave you 8. Tyler Hero's got to play better. He's got to give you 16 off the bench because I don't think Adebayo is going to give you 31 more points like that. But he's going to get at least 13 and 10. He's in that range. If Butler is healthy, he could be the primary scorer. But if he's not, and he's more or less a decoy because he's going to gamer, he's going to be out there playing. Tyler Hero's got to show me something. He's got to hit that. He's got to walk into Boston and play if they have a chance. But I just don't believe they're going to win game 4. But now Miami's showing you that they're not just going to go away so easy. Boston's blueprint is to win 4, 5, and 6. Win 4, like I expect them to at home. Tightly contested game 5, they have to steal on the road, and then put them away in game 6 and get to the finals. If it's 7, it slightly favors Miami. Miami's home. They're very good at game 7s. And I mean, what am I getting at Tatum? Because he might get you 42 or he might get you 10. So he's a superstar. So that remains to be seen. But I was surprised, very surprised that Boston lost this game. But like I said, I do not expect them to lose game 4. They'll bounce back, but then game 5, Miami's got the confidence in Lowry. You got a champion in Lowry. Out of all the players on both teams, Kyle Lowry's the guy with the ring. So he knows how to get you home in these situations. All right, I got to address the Nick Saban situation when he talked about Texas A&M and Dion, and he was talking to his boosters and his base about what's going on in the NIL situation and all that, and they saying Texas A&M bought all their players, and what Dion said, what I respect Dion out of everybody that talked. He could have really made a problem for Nick Saban in different areas, and I'll explain. But he did say, well, it was correct. He said it wasn't aimed. We were used as pawns. Me and Jimbo Fisher, we were used as pawns, and he talked to his fan base like, hey, we're not number one recruit no more. So whatever NIL money, whatever you got to do, this is a message. This is a problem. I'm going to address it in different ways. First, I want to deal with the Jimbo Fisher. I don't think Saban should have said what he said about, and he definitely tried to apologize and all. He shouldn't have went there. I think he's thinking he's talking to that base, and that's just a private gathering. But if you're there, cameras are on. Unless you did, I'm surprised. He's very calculated. I'm surprised he did that to stoke the fires of saying what he said. That was wrong. Now I'm going to address Jimbo Fisher because he talked about Saban, which, okay, he had a right to be mad, and he talked about, you coach the people like Bobby Bowden, and you learn how to do things. And he talked about him being a narcissist. Okay, you want to call him names, you want to do that, I'm okay. But he insinuated that Nick Saban was dirty because I was with him, and he's living foul. He's corrupt. His program, he does stuff that's not above board and all that stuff. Now that's a problem because if you don't have receipts, you shouldn't have said that. You want to call him names. You want to say despicable what he did. You go say what you got to say. You're mad. I got it. But when you go there, you better produce receipts. And if you had that much of a problem, you go to the NCAA and you turn him in. If you're really telling the truth, because this show's called Tell the Truth Radio. So if you got that much of a problem, go tell on him then. Go say, listen, this guy, I was with him. He's committed some violations. You need to go check into that. Talk to the NCAA about that. But if you're just saying that to just throw out any insinuations, then you're being stupid. But all the other stuff, he has a right to be mad and say what he wants to say. But when he goes into this guy, I was with him, and he's doing some illegal, corrupt stuff. Some people think they're God. And he said, some people think they're God. And he did a lot. He said he did a lot of things on it. We built him up bizarre football and dig into his past. Anybody's ever coached with him will find out. Okay. Show me some receipts, homeboy. Because if not, that's a mess. Now, all the other stuff, I said, listen, I understand Jimbo Fisher, man, but when you went there. You go there, you got to keep going now. Now you got to go next level. Listen, I'm gonna turn them in. Now they're gonna ask, how come you didn't say anything years ago? So that you're opening up a lot of issues, especially when that week in October comes and you got to go to Tuscaloosa. They're going to ask you, do you have dirt on him? Do you have things in the past where his program could be in trouble? What exactly? Give us some detail of what you know. That's what they're going to ask. You got to answer that. Dion was smart. He just handled that. And he said, listen, I want Saban to, I ain't got no issues with how he did it because I know what's going on because I was the star player and I know how things work with it wasn't NIL, but you know how it goes back in the day with how you get recruited and all that stuff. But Dion said that he was talking to his base. I also think that Nick Saban's saying, listen, because he could be leaving soon. He could be like, listen, I'm gonna be out of here soon. And Texas A&M and Texas has a nice NIL deals. Texas getting up in there. Texas Tech is getting up there. They got that good oil money. So they're going to be, they're not going away. I tell you, the team, I also, you talk about Texas, the team I would be concerned about if I'm like the Alabamas and Ohio States and the national teams, the group of five normal guys like the Michigan teams that are always in the mix. I'd be concerned about USC. They got the transfer from Pittsburgh and they got a ridiculously good wide receiver core. Not only are they getting the transfers, but they got unlimited resources when it comes to NIL. Texas got that big old billionaire oil money, but how do we also might not see what goes behind the scenes with the NIL and USC. That's why Riley went there, because you got Hollywood money. You might have Hollywood backers. That's a college that has a lot of film producers. So the alumni are billionaire film producers. You might get, you don't know where the money could come from. NIL deals, not only you get NIL deals, you get name, image, and likenesses for maybe Hollywood movies, maybe Disney movies, maybe Marvel. You don't, this, and I'm a capitalist, so I love this. This is an opportunity of a lifetime if you're an athlete, and the kids are going to stay in California now. And a lot of kids got the Nike deals that went to Oregon, but now those Southern California kids are going to stay at home. I wonder if UCLA is going to try to get something going, because they're in Hollywood, but they're not the it team. The it teams are the Dodgers, the Lakers, and USC. And now the Rams are coming there now that they won a title. So they're your it teams. And now, not only does he get that, Lincoln Riley might get players from all over the country. I mean, I'm a kid in I might be a kid in Ohio or Michigan. And I'm like, okay, I want to play for the Wolverines or the Buckeyes, but they come in here and be like, you don't have to be in this cold weather. You come out here to Hollywood and we'll make you a star. We'll give you NIL money and then maybe a role in a movie coming up. You're like, whoa, okay. So this opens up a whole new avenue. And that's why Nick Saban is talking to the Alabama guys, because they don't have that. They have good alumni, but not that kind of, they got the hundreds of thousands, but you're talking about millions and billions now. I don't know. And he's also laying the groundwork for the future coach of Alabama. Listen, I'm not going to be around long. I'm going to might win another national championship or two, but all these other teams are going to pass this program by. And the guy that's coming after me, it's going to be hard for him unless you get whatever you have to get, whatever deals you have to get, whatever corporate deals you have to get to keep up with these teams that are coming, you better do. And I think that's what he did, but he should never mention Jimbo, definitely not Deion, because they did commercials together. And I think he realized that. So he reached out to Deion, but the way Deion did, Deion saved him. I'll tell you why he saved him. Deion said, that's my man. And I think Saban, they'll do something with a podcast. They'll do something with a podcast and they'll talk it out, because Deion opened up the olive branch, and that was kind of cool. He didn't have to. Well, you know what Deion could have did? Deion could have said, listen, nobody should go to Alabama if you're a kid of color. After what he did to me, you trashed the HBCU. He's talking about us as a people. Come on now, why you want to go to Alabama? Then he might mention stuff in the 60s. He could have really made it problematic for Saban for future recruits. But he said, nah, I'm gonna let it go, because I'm doing so good in recruiting at Jackson State. I don't need to shine on him. So they all worked out. That's good for Saban, because he could have did that, and that would have been a problem, regardless of how good Alabama's been right now. So that kind of was good. Him and Jimbo, forget that. That's just Texas A&M and Alabama. That's the hatred will just keep going. This is my advice for Alabama when you play the game of Tuscaloosa. Even if, like, Sankey, the head of the SEC, by the springtime, he'll squash that, because he reprimanded both coaches. He'll try to squash it, and they'll try to have some amicable. They won't be friends or anything, but he'll try to have them just publicly squash it. The problem is the kids. The kids are going to be so amped up, and the media is going to hype that game up. and the kids are going to say something from both teams, or Texas A&M might say something, and Saban might tell his players not to say anything. What you need, number one, is extra security. Number two, make sure there's nothing pops off that weekend. Number three, make sure both teams are nowhere near each other before the game starts. Have extra police, have security wall off the area where when the teams come out, they're nowhere near each other. Have security at the 50-yard line, and make sure that there's nothing going on. And if I'm Greg Sankey, I tell both teams there will be no problems, or there will be consequences. You go in there, you play football, and you get out of there, and that's it. You better do it that way, because if you just pay no attention and just let it fester, and then they go out there, it's just going to be a fight before the game, and it's going to be a black eye to the SEC. So I would suggest that they take care of that before October comes. You know what? I want to talk about the Josh Donaldson situation with Tim Anderson. What are you doing if you're Josh Donaldson? Even if you're playing, I'll tell you what, that was stupid. Even he says he's joking around, referred to Tim Anderson as Jackie. It's just, you can have the inside jokes, but you got a reputation as a person who's an irritant. So you're making things worse. He doesn't get along with the guy, and there must be some history. You're a Yankee, so you want to avoid as many distractions as possible. It's not the Yankee style. And I'm just joking. It's just because that could be took the wrong way. And Tim Anderson took it the wrong way, because Tim Anderson calls himself the Jackie Robinson of baseball. And he just said it's disrespectful, is unnecessary. It was unnecessary. Everybody talks about racist. He's probably not, but it was unnecessary. Just go away. You got a problem with the guy. You could say you got a problem with it, but not on the field. When you're on the field, get to the dugout. I mean, it's a distraction for the team, and you need to apologize to the team for making that worse than you did. And you're having a pretty good year, but you include now with the hypersensitive climate that's been derived by the members of my media, is dealing with the racial issue. It's just, you're going to make things, you're going to put gasoline on the fire in a situation. You got a problem with that guy, okay, but you got to have a sense of awareness. I'm not going to do this, even if I'm playing with the guy and I don't mean it in a racial way, and I just kind of want to do a bench jockey thing. Nah. Now, as far as Tim Anderson saying he's a Jackie Robinson in Major League Baseball, I got a problem with that. You could say you want to aspire to be like Jackie Robinson, do some of the things he did and the principles he did, and build banks in the community like he did, and represent and not be a pawn or a sucker to any political movement like Jackie Robinson did. That's fine if you want to go all out and be really Jackie Robinson. But you're never going to go through what he went through in 47. I'm actually going to do a story on Robinson. You're not going to deal with Ben Chapman. You're not going to deal with Enos Slaughter putting spikes in your mouth and nobody saying anything. You're not going to get thrown at all the time. You're not going to have a black cat running on the field and say, hey, there's your cousin. You're not going to have that problem. So please don't miss me with the Jackie Robinson thing. You want to be like him? Okay. But as far as Donaldson, you kind of put a bullseye on your chest with that. And people are going to look at you. If you're not racist, people are going to be like, well, that guy, I wonder if he is or not. And that's bad. And another thing is, it's a distraction. The Yankees were rolling, and now they lost a doubleheader to the White Sox. The White Sox playing with fire down. Now, you could have just got rid of them and kept it moving. Now, you lost momentum. They lost 5-0 in the second game. Lost 3-1, then 5-0. Then score a single run. So that was a distraction. That's just so. If I'm Josh Donaldson, I apologize to my team. And then you got to deal with the black teammates, Aaron Hicks, in your locker room. They're going to be asking, what was that about? Now you got to answer those questions. That's stupid. You don't want to add extra drama. You're trying to get through a 162 game season seamless. If you're a team that's a contender like the Yankees, you want to get there seamlessly, get in and out of season, and try to win a division without any idiotic, foolish distractions.